Hey community gardeners, today I'm going to give a tutorial on how to change out a drip tape line in a garden plot. We're assessing if we need to change a drip tape line. We want to look closely at the line, and around here the water tends to calcify the line, so this white showing up where the emitters are, usually if it's really white like that, it's usually a sign that you're going to want to change out your tape. You can also watch the line while the water is flowing out and see if it is actually coming out, because over time, if it gets too calcified, they will just block up and water won't come out. There are ways to fix a line without having to replace the whole thing, like these couplers, which are barbed and basically are used when you have to splice the line where the leak is at and then attach the barbs to it, which I'll make another video about. But if you notice that you've had to do this several times on your line, probably it just means that the line is splitting in a certain place and you're going to want to just replace it. Another thing you can do is just use basic black electrical tape to fix leaks. The kinds of leaks that I fix with electrical tape are ones that are just like spraying, like little holes that are just spraying a little bit of water, but these couplers are used more for bigger leaks. When it's time to replace a line, you want to get your drip tape roll and position it right at where the valves are. And turn your valve to the off position. And then we're gonna unscrew the existing drip tape from the valve. So once you have taken off your line from the valve, since you have your drip tape roll right here, and this is the new drip tape, instead of taking out this line before we put in the new line, we're actually going to just attach these, and it makes it a lot easier. So what we're going to do is we're going to make the end of our new line while we still have our old line out. The way we do this is we take the new line, and I like to fold it in half. Sometimes it's a little tricky if you have an emitter, but you can definitely fold that part too. And you fold over 1, 2 times, and then you stick this into the old line and stick it pretty far in there. You want it to be pretty snug. And you have one big line right here. So now I'm at the end of the same bed. You can see the drip tape roll over there. And what I'm gonna do now that it's all connected is just take the end of our old line and start pulling on it. And you're just pulling the new line through. The reason why we do it this way is because if you have a lot of plants growing in your bed, you don't want to have to set the new line in between all the plants. This way it just pulls the new line into the exact same place as the new line was. Hold your new line through. You want to make sure that the emitter side, which is the side with this white stripe on it, you can see the yellow emitter right there, is facing downwards because that's where the water is going to be coming out. This is the end that we created with the old hose, and we're just going to cut it right there to create that end. When I cut the new line, I usually make sure there's a little bit of extra length. You can see the new line at the end of the bed right there. Make sure there's a little bit of extra length because this way, if you get any new leaks and you need to splice some of your line out eventually, you'll still have a little bit of slack to make sure it gets all the way to the end of the bed. And now that we're at this side, it's still connected to the drip tape, so we're gonna cut our line to connect it back to the valve. And the only trick about doing this is you want to make sure that you cut far enough so that the emitter is not what you're plugging into the valve, because the emitter is a little plastic piece inside the hose. And if you're putting that piece onto the barb of the valve, then water is going to leak through it because it's not going to be as snug as you want it.